Hello. This is part two for time after time. We're gonna go ahead and dig in. So let's just listen back. See where we are. All right. So I really like how this falls in. I just copied the sustained piano over. I feel like that bass was a little loud. Oh, you know what else I want to see? I want to see. I have no idea why this works now, but I'm glad it does. I'm gonna go ahead and change the modulation, drop it down just a little bit on that bass. Something around there. I'm thinking this would be a cool part for maybe the cello to jump in as more of a leading voice. So I'm kind of thinking like a boom bap from the violins, and I'm thinking pizzicato. What if I drop the first ones? Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm not sure if I love the last notes. Do. See what happens if I remove the roots. Struggling. That's kind of sounded a little weak there. Not sure if I love that. If I split it. If I take away the last note from each of these, so it's kind of like do do, so do 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 do, something like that. I'm liking that better. Let's try that on for size. Thinking about bringing that up an octave. I don't know, maybe I like that better. Rid of that one because that note's just not singing the way I want to. So let me actually stretch this out. Let me go 2, and I'm gonna remove the second one for the first rep. I'm not sure we know what I want to go there. And we're looking at 8 bars. Let me go back to the structure here. I'm trying to think of when we'd want to bring in the big part again. And we're shooting for like around 2 minutes. So I'm thinking a longer B section, especially because I really dropped off from these. But I like what that does. Maybe we'll go. That's a third, so I could raise it up and do another harmony with the drum. Or it's already the tenor, and that's doing G on the first one, which would be okay. So I think I'm going to move this part down to the bass trombone, maybe. I'm thinking. So for the first one, what does it be? A B would be the note I'm looking for. All right, we're pulling out the guitar. And that gives us something to bring back into the next section. So let me put down some markers just to kind of say where things are. Put the guitar down for the moment. Let's go ahead. Got one there, one there. It builds up. I'm not really going to mark the build up so much. Let's do like this. Then we're going two more further than that for these. Okay. And we're going to call this verse. We'll go. Fuck. All right. I'm going to call this chorus A. Maybe not. I think maybe chorus A would be right there. I just think this is build up. This part of like. Maybe it would be. Oh, you know what? And I did have an idea after the fact for these. I was wondering if it might sound better if I move these up an octave, so it's like mba, mba. Okay, I like that. That way it keeps this constant through the thing. And the chords kind of dance around it. And I like that the last note goes a little higher than that one. Although it's probably implied at some point. I think I'm going to keep that like that for now. I still have all the woodwinds to play with too. Okay, so this is chorus A. Let's go over there. God, I don't like that one note. So I'm kind of liking that. Let's see if I develop that more. If we pulled out the original parts back on the pizzicato though. Just those notes are at the very end. Fuck, suck. I'm gonna try to put them a little early. Maybe that will click in better. At least it's on time. Ugh, still not very pretty. I like how it kind of goes down, but those parts are going crazier. this would have to hit similar to this. Let's see about that. Nope. Works for one, does not work for two. Wow. Well, I'll still increase the velocity just a little bit. And I really like how that cello part comes back in. I should say cello part. I almost want. Some of these notes, when it's so high like this, it's hard to even tell what's correct and what's wrong. But I mean, you can see, like, I don't know. I don't know if there's been an F so far. It's probably out of key. Same thing with the sharps. Oh no! I also flubbed that. Let me. I'll leave that the way it is. And let's see here. Really needs to hit that E hard. I have a feeling it doesn't translate very well. Okay. Okay. And I think we can get rid of the logos just like that. In the same fashion. Oh shit. That's so much louder. And that follows that kind of same cello pattern. So let's open up those cellos. Okay. Let's do a quick camera check. Unbelievable, camera still rolling. Okay. Chorus B. So, I'm just trying to give it some action there. I recognize that I'm kind of pulling the same kind of riff that the cello is doing for the second part of the violin. I was trying to do like a tight group and then more of like interval, tight group, interval. I really like the interval part. I'm not as big of the tight group, so I might play with that a little bit. Let's maybe try to do the same trick, but down low. I almost wish this would like slide in. Like a hammer on, like a a little slur. So I'm going to open up. I don't think there's any. I don't know if there's a way to do that in this. I can the tuning. If I mess with the tuning though, now we're really getting out there. Let me just see something real quick. Oh, of course I messed it up. So my pitch wheel is not assigned to anything. Well, that kind of worked. I'm learning on the fly. Maybe there's, I don't know, maybe I bumped something. Maybe I'm just not going to teach that. Well, someone smarter than I will have to tell me what I'm missing here. I mean, it sees me dancing it. All right, I don't know. We'll have to. That's a smaller detail. I almost want to take that to the other channel. Just as no, there is no other channel for that one. This might be crazy, but we're gonna do it anyways. And let's right, just to make sure I'm lining it up correctly. Okay, fair enough. So yes and no. Dang, I would need this thing to be screaming to make that work. It's not gonna have the same power. I think we're close. I don't think it's gonna work for us. No, this is kind of working off strikes. It doesn't really have that built in. Well, I'm not sure. That's a tricky one. Could try to do the same trick one more time. All right. I know. I'm backtracking and redoing it. So let me try something crazy. My favorite thing to do. I don't even know what it's at right now, but let's just give it this. Let's go velocity. Oh. That wouldn't help if I'm doing the wrong one. Still not doing it for me. Okay, I like that better. We're just doing both descending on the way out there. Just trying to get my dynamics back where I felt like they were. I wanted to like slam that first E right there because this descending part needs it. Oh, well, maybe if I go to the right E, that might help too. I think that's where it is. Well, I guess they both need it, so. I just want to make sure I still have a balance between these. And since we made some changes on it, I'm going to go ahead and save it as a V2. I'm thinking it's time to go into the woodwinds a little bit. We're shooting for an ending around here, so I have this B chorus part. Alright, I'm going to do it longer than before. I'm going to try to really milk it. For this one, what if I drop the B down? Because it's kind of getting a little monotonous. I think it's too solo to do that. It's okay. I create interest with some woodwinds. Alright, and for the chorus B, we're going to have these jump in still too. See how bad that affects this though. Let's compare that with the long bass. I can still piece both of them out of that, so I think they're both present enough. They don't sound like they're overwhelming each other. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay. And so while we're down here, if I gotta do the slow scroll up. So let's say I do, this is like a long chorus. I know I'm gonna need one more. Ends around 2 minutes. Well, there'd be none at all. So let's do 2-bar chorus. We'll do a little bridge, and then we'll come back into the chorus for the final sweep. We're shooting for 2 minutes. It looks like it'd be somewhere around there. I mean, I'm not doing this for 8 bars. Yeah, that works. I'm not doing this with any specifications in mind, so I'm just trying to get it to about where it would be reasonable for somebody to use. I feel like 2 minutes is kind of the sweet spot. You get a couple ideas in there, get a hold of the riff. So if we did that, that would be chorus B, and then this would be a bridge, and this would be our final chorus C. So it's just a big old chorus at the end, and we'll probably do some sort of stinger. I'm gonna say outro / stinger. Just a big bomb. Just a big note to end it. Something to give it some closure. And let's see here. So we have to figure out something there. I haven't done any percussion. I haven't done any woodwinds. But this is kind of where we're looking to be. Yeah. Get on over there. Kind of where we're looking to be. I'm just not super sold on this piano. I use it just in case it works, but it never seems to. I might end up switching this out with the grand and just, spending a little more time. I have a lot of pianos to use. It's just I try to keep them all together like the same symphony. It might be something I can adjust a little bit. Give it just a little flavor. I don't know. Okay. Well, let's kind of see where we're at and see what where we're gonna want to play from. I'm thinking that cello part is gonna come back in the woodwinds in a big way. I'm kind of deciding whether I want to add anything to the very beginning or if we'll leave like the woodwinds to come in maybe for something on the chorus. I could even have them come in on the second verse and then be an additional layer on the second chorus, something that can return on the third chorus, and maybe we'll have some like big percussion. Do kind of like a percussion centric bridge and then have that carry to make the biggest chorus. So now we have all the sections really blasting at it, and then we'll just do boom, one big out. It's kind of where I'm leaning right now, but we'll see what happens. I'm just going to run it back and just see where we're at. Something I'm hearing is maybe a little more going on right here that kind of introduces the faster notes there. I feel like it sounds like swung. A little better. Man, let me just look at this together. Okay. Man, will it sound okay if I did this? Or maybe they're like trading off fast parts. I don't know. Oops. So now let's add in the other violin and just see how that sounds. I like that. A lot of the times it's just so robotic when you do the same note in a row twice. It just does not sound like a human player, and obviously it's perfectly on the grid, and the velocity hasn't been humanized at all or anything, which is a half measure to get it to sound right. But so I'm just trying to avoid that, so I wanted to put a little more into it, but I really wasn't loving it matching the same way that the second part comes in, so I just wanted to do something a little different, and I feel like that gives a little more movement to it. So our brass is real minimal here. I still haven't even touched the trumpet. So maybe that'd be something I can kind of assign over here. What if I were to do this? Yeah, I'm liking that a little better. I didn't like it on the other one, but this one works way better for that. Dun, 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 dun. So I like that. I like the trumpet coming in. It is blaring loud compared to the rest. That does almost nothing for me. Maybe over here would be better. Let's see. I almost feel like if I were to cut that off, get rid of that, and then bring these in. I kind of like it with this so that brass really shines through. Where's the trumpet line up with that? Let's just say if I took that out. Maybe I brought that down to like clarinet or something. Like that. Maybe that'd be a fun oboe part. To double that. Let's see. Alright, so that one, the range is not amazing. I'm almost wondering if I took the B notes. Do I even count that one? Do I count this one? I don't know. So let's try taking that to an F sharp. All right. Oops, too far. I don't know why it's been doing Now, how did these play together? Okay, I'm liking that. Something like a boom ba 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 boom ba 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 boom. That should build the tension a little bit. I'll never sync that. Jeez. All right, let's go to short clarinet and match it up here. That sounds like, but okay. I'm kind of liking that move. Oh, these go all the way, huh? Well, I pretty much want to copy this verbatim. Mm, and I could move it up. Let's see. I still have the flutes and piccolo to play with too. So maybe do something like this. We'll take out all the long notes. I almost feel like it's. I almost feel like it's a little longer than the staccato's giving me, but it's not really perfectly long enough to be suited on the general long clarinet. So I'm not sure. You know what? I'm saying get rid of this too in favor something like this maybe. All right, I'm digging where it's going so far, and I'm liking the woodwinds that are already there. I was telling myself I'd go an hour. Let's do a quick camera check. Camera's rolling, phenomenal. I guess let's go a little longer. I'm feeling it. Let's start at the top. Let's hear where we are. Let's keep an eye on those woodwinds, which really isn't that much. But let's just keep an eye on it, and then we'll see how it flows. And then I'm thinking we'll build into the chorus for something that I can mimic over, and then we'll start looking at maybe some percussion, and see how we want to play the bridge here. Here's an idea too. Maybe I'm not in love with the piano, but I like those higher notes. I think I maybe give myself some more separation on these. Ooh, that's a boo boo. Oops. Bum 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 bum. All right. I want E. think something like that would be better. I'm sorry, I'm doing this. I'm gonna go back because I was not really paying attention to the woodwinds. I do like that with the viola. That's kind of surprising for me. I thought the viola would be needed. So I got the bassoon for that part. That might be helpful. Love the trumpet coming in. Just a little bit, just because I'm not hearing it poke through on that chorus. And of course, reasonably, what I should do is be automating through, so I don't have to go back and remember where I wanted to do Kinsey more, where a little bit less. But I think that's going to be like one of the final stages on this, is to polish it and try to get the velocities and the dynamics to be a little more dialed in. So right now, I'm really just worried about like mapping out the notes and just getting an idea with what's going on where. Sometimes I'll play like much more like, let me see if I can, let's do strings. I actually prefer strings. Sometimes I'll be more like, I don't even know if I'm hearing a difference on there. Of course, I pick one that doesn't have the dynamic expression. Where it's like very particular. I mean, right now I'm not really doing a lot of that. Of course, now my bass is going to be a little messed up. Luckily, I remember where it is. So let's look at this cello part, because that's kind of what I'm feeling for this section. So let's see where in the range of this oboe is going to be. Matter of fact, I can just split these up, because I was just talking about that bassoon, and that might be perfect for the bassoon. Take over that cello part. Well, we found the limit. You almost want to go. What are we doing to this damn thing? Yeah, let's keep it simple. Then we'll go back to the oboe here. Clearly that's just not gonna work for us. Let's listen to that in the mix. The oboe is spitting. All right, clarinet. I'm thinking we're gonna double up. Maybe even. Nah. What are we, crazy? Did it again. Thinking maybe have the flutes and the piccolo for the chorus, do something along the lines of what this is doing. Maybe if I got rid of this, now we're just doing a two-part harmony. We can do like a lower and a higher. Alright, so we're doing... Well, I guess let me first... And the flute. And we'll do the flute as the lower notes. Let's bring it over here, solo this out. Whoa. And I don't need this much yet. Let's see. We're looking at a B. Okay, we're lined up. Now I'm with two B's up. bottoms and delete those off. Then let's bring this one up 2 octaves. E to an E. Brother, we'll solo you. Wow. Let's bring the rest of the woodwinds with that French horn part. Making sense to me. So I do like that. I like how these hit those off beats, and that's kind of something I was liking earlier. I really liked kind of like that offbeat sound, which is kind of funny because it probably should be a 3/4 song, honestly. I don't know why. I guess I just had to make a decision. I went triplet, but I like 12s. Very divisible. There was a funny moment there with the violins. What's up with that? I don't know. It's like an oddly quiet note for some reason. Well, is this something because of the cello? It doesn't sound like it. Let's see if it does it over here. I feel like it's a little more blended because it's harmonized. I almost feel like I could remove that. Let's stretch these. I thought I was hearing that. Bummer, it's out of the range. Well, let's see. Maybe it'll have a little more present timbre if I raise it anyways. Okay, I do not hate that. Let's make 4 more copies. it's a high pitch whistle there. Well, I'm going to velocity it down just so gives everyone's ears a break. Holy crap. But I do like how they stand out. I wonder if I could stretch these. Came to this. It's just a little stretched. I don't know. I'm wondering if it. Hit a button I'm not supposed to. I'm wondering if it's gonna make it feel a little more open when I do that. And I'm just giving the notes a little more room to breathe since it is on the long format. I figured it wouldn't be a bad idea. Just to gain a little momentum there. It was a little more flowing. Thinking in the spirit of that, let's do it. So we have that, we have that, we have that, fighting for bass space. I'm hoping the bassoon will give it a little more of a timbre. I think it does. I'm thinking that works. I just want a little more of like the higher end frequency on that. I want it to be a little better represented in the mix. I'll carry over these woodwinds. Run it back. Start at the top. I want that piano to kind of have some timbre that cuts through, but it's just a little bit overbearing. In the chorus sections and like the intro, I want it to be very prominent. And I think that spaced out version improved it. I don't think it's impossible to play. I mean, you're just going down, da 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 da, dum, da 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 da. So this hand would be doing a lot of work. This one's kind of just staying in the pocket. I feel like that's pretty reasonable. And then, nice empty bridge. Have the xylophone. I can mess around with something like over there, maybe get some funky sound. I don't know what it calls for yet. I'm not positive I'll be able to fill this in today, but I think we made good progress on the woodwinds. Kind of getting this filled out a little bit. Let's just solo the woodwinds. Let's just see what we got with that. So here's the verse 2 when they kick in. High pitched note is brutal. That still needs to come down. I don't even know how low. Sounds identical to me. That might just have to be a mod wheel modulation. Let's see, why not? Let's go in. Let's do it. Oh, I don't even know where I am with that one. Let's say I am right there. My bad. Let's see, something like that maybe? Of course it won't let me square it up. Why would it? Not that low. Can I just move these? Let's just solo the piccolo. Okay, I feel like that was better. Somehow that worked. I don't really mind the flute that much. That piccolo was brutal. Wow, I like that so much better. Let's do that here, and then I'll make the necessary changes for it to match. I believe that's the correct line. Wrong. But thanks for playing. It was fun to try. Okay. What the heck did I do there? Get out of here, you pesky note. We don't want you here. Come back when we need you. Dang. This is why we can't have nice things. Okay. Let's go linear. See, yeah, it's a little nicer. That's how we like to play. Let's be kind. Yeah, get rid of that. For now, this one does not matter. But it's gonna matter eventually. So let's leave it there. Alright, another camera check. The camera's working. Perfect. Okay, let's see where we're at. Try to figure out what's coming next. Right now we have a pretty good setup. It's gonna intro the piano. It's gonna drop in some strings. The brass kicks in for the chorus and stay around for the verse. Where the woodwinds pick up, strings come back in. We hit that second chorus with the woodwinds in there. We have a blank bridge, absolutely nothing for a bridge. And then we have a third chorus, which really hasn't been expanded on. It's pretty much just copy pasted. And then we have all of the percussion to just play with, which I think is going to come out in the bridge and then really bring the third and final chorus to where it needs to be. And then the outro stinger, that's just going to be a big chord. It's not going to be anything too crazy. Let's kind of hear where that would end, though. I'm thinking almost like hold that one out longer and then drop it into the last part. So like, let me do it on the piano first. So it would be something like, what the heck? Okay. Something like that. Oh no, I did it to the wrong bridge. Well, The wrong chorus. There we go. So something like that would be the ending. Let's kind of get it geared up for that. I was wondering if I should just cut all of these. Let's see. Now you gotta do it for each. That's kind of pretty. Well, maybe we won't do it on the short one. This one would be a good one, though. I do the same mistake over and over. I never learn. Alright, we're gonna learn today. We're almost done. Alright, that still sucks. But we're getting there. We're getting there. All of these. We'll do the same trick. Same dang trick. Different day. Same mistake. Different day. Alright. Let's see here. And this is actually the short one. I'm not too concerned about this one. But on this one, I believe this is the long one. Oh my gosh, I'll do it every time. It's unbelievable. Okay. This is part of my workflow at this point. I'm going to accidentally drag every single note for no reason every time. I always love the gap. I love the gap. That might be too much gap. Oh, man, I could almost live with that going longer. I liked it that much. I liked it that much. Alright, we haven't even got there yet. It sounds okay. I could hear it's doing something like that. It's not too crazy, right? It's not too much. I'm not a crazy person. You're not. Let's see here. We're making moves. I'm trying to figure out how long do I want it to hold. Boom. I'm thinking that long. I'm thinking that long. Which is quite a hell note. And then we got that 1, 2, boom. We got that 1, 2, boom. All right. Got that 1, 2, boom. All right. Let's just keep stretching these out. We're going to keep moving. Keep it moving. I know this is probably not the most enjoyable thing to watch, but this is me editing all the notes one by one by hand. Just kind of getting our big ending together. We just want it to be nice and big. Oh, why am I holding down a short oboe? Probably don't need to do that one. I think that will not help me. That's a long clarinet, so that should be held. Right? Oh, can't not make that mistake. No. My favorite mistake. Right, something like that. All right, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. All right. I could probably extend those for the last one, right? Because I did that for the other parts. There we go. And then we go crazy. We are playing the game. I think that does it for these. So we got that one. Perfect. That sound. That sound right there. What the heck, Viola? You need to be longer? What your problem is? Maybe it did. Maybe it just needs a little more love. The piano, I'm not tripping on. These could be a little longer, sure. I think that's a little reasonable. That's not crazy. Not too much to ask. Yeah, yeah. That could probably go. We're gonna take it. We're gonna double it. We're gonna give it to the next person. And you know what? We're going out on a low note. Alright, alright, alright. Bringing it down an octave. I'm not fighting that thing anymore. I had to bottom out the dynamics. What? What? Nice. Nice. And that's short, so we're not going to use that. Kind of an unfair way to pick everything that's going to be the last note, but that is the rules. I want it to be a little more of a bass heavy note anyways. I want it to be a I'm giving the bassoon a little longer than everything else because it's my favorite. No, I'm just kidding. Because I want the woodwinds to have more of a presence in the ending. And that will leave a little taste of woodwind to go. What's up with these? Not that mad at that. Let's see if it sounds way out of context. It sounds like it's missing some brass on the last note. We're adding the brass. No big deal. No big deal. Kind of a rough way to get in there. Let's listen back. 2. I'm thinking that maybe goes to the trumpet line. That might be cool. Let's see. I just don't know. It feels too aggressive. It's too much. I don't know about that. This might be a little crazy, but what if I took out everything but that B? So these are pretty much washed out. Try that. Let's just see. I'm not hating that. Not totally in love with it yet. I just wanted to kind of emphasize that B. At least I kind of took that out with the piccolo and flute. Oh, a little more droning. That might be cool. Let's see. Unbelievable. I did it again. And that's where that goes. Alright, let's get the solo off. And hear in context how bad that is. I feel like it gave a little bit of resolution there. Oh, there's a lot of reverb in there. Okay, okay. I'm not mad at that. Let's go back and listen to the ending one more time. Let's do a little longer. Let's get a little more. A lot of flavor on that one. Let's try to add some of this in there. That's funny. I don't have any reverb on most of these. So we can use my reverb bus on the next one. So we got a couple things to do. The reverb will be fun. I have this reverb set up. It's nothing fancy. It's just across all these, it goes with the same bus for it. But it does add a lot of ambiance and environment to it. So I think that'll be helpful. Just kind of get a better idea of where we're going with it, as well as that nasty bridge. What are we gonna do with this bridge? I'm not sure yet. That'll be for the next one. Kind of got an outro there. That little stinger. That's all I wanted. Ah, dang! I'm gonna be fighting this horn. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of reverb on there, but okay. I think I got good amount of progress on this one. We're closer to our length here, a little over 2 minutes. Let's go check the camera. Camera's still working. We're still going. Love it. This has been a blast. I had a really fun time doing the one yesterday, so I'm more than happy to go a little longer. Instead of doing 30 minutes, we did 2 hours. I'm probably gonna aim more for like an hour. I'm also like, do I not touch it until I start recording? So that's something that's a bridge for me to cross. And I have another project, like a video project that I've been working on. So I'll do the little video thing, and I need some music to go behind it. So I figured I'd do that. So that's coming up. But yeah, until then, I will be back tomorrow. So peace.